You either
That's
build
facts.
it or you carry it on, or you're a bum.
She struggled. She was a single parent with me and my sister. I don't want you doing this. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do it different.
It doesn't matter how many likes you get. It doesn't matter how many followers you get. If you know you're working towards something, really almost impossible if you keep going and you're working diligent.
There's no shortcuts to anything.
For sure.
You're all into it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you're gonna learn something out of it.
You just have to keep going, and it has to be within to know, like, in a humble way.
All right, bro. It's a blessed Friday out here in Tempe, Arizona, bro. How you doing?
Love.
We're in a new setting right now. This is nice, man.
No,
Shout out to Trendsetters for letting us record here. It's been a cool, just being able to be in here. I've been coming to the barbershop for like 4 years, bro. So talking to CR and just him being able to let us come in here and just record. Yeah, bro. He's a good dude. So if you're out here in Arizona and you want to get a haircut, man, just come out here to Trendsetters. They have like 3 or 4 shops across the valley. So you feel like it's okay for men to be evaluated and watched from afar?
Yeah, man, I think just in a sense of, man, people should just be watched and assessed just for how they operate and how they act.
Yeah.
Irregardless to where they are, you know what I mean? And not in a sense to pry, but just to watch. Like, people should be like observant of who people are, their actions, what they say, and how they operate. It's really how you get a bearing of who people are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as long as it's not like with weird undertones,
yeah,
or it's not to like pry,
like crossing the line.
Or if it's not to pry or anything like that, absolutely, I think people should observe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I love your answers to that. And I ask these questions because I think the overall theme for today is building a legacy, right? As men, we always talk about, or the ones that are moving through life a certain way. You hear the great ones say, like, I want to build a legacy that's withstanding, that my sons and their sons and their sons can continue to look forward to something and have an expectation that they know is attractive, that's going to be successful, that's going to be grounded in a faith, that's going to be able to move areas in life that you couldn't move the generation before that. It's always about creating opportunities, but with that comes people watching. As people who played sports, or as dudes who played sports, we were always being watched, whether it was scouts, whether it was coaches, whether it was moving up from freshman to JV to varsity.
Facts.
It's just natural for men to be watched and evaluated in certain instances. And I think some dudes can get threatened by it when it turns into, okay, you're not being watched by a coach anymore. Now you're being evaluated or watched by, let's just say, women, or let's just say society or a boss as a whole. I think turning that switch or keeping that switch on in a mode of like, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing something that I know is maybe something that's never been done before, or I'm doing it at a capability or a performance level that is going to get watched because when I perform and when I do something, it's at 100%.
Right.
And if you're doing it the right way, it's going to get watched and viewed. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So today I really want to focus on, how dudes who, let's just say, start their new year, new me, lifestyle off of first, second, third month and do very consistent and do well with it. And then that 4th month hits, they're starting something new, or they start a new venture, or they add something onto them when they didn't even get anywhere with the first thing they started.
For sure.
And a lot of people can sit there and say, well, he's doing a lot, but is he doing enough? You know what I'm saying? And if we're talking about being a certain type of man and, getting to a certain level, you got to be grounded and good and somewhat of an expert in the level that you're in right now.
Right.
And I think more often than not, especially with social media and with where we're at, we always want to grab the different things to bring into our palette and say, well, I'm good at all of these things rather than let's be good at one.
Yeah, man. I think, and it's crazy that you said that, because right now I'm reading a book called The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Okay. And within it, it talks about, he calls it chief definite aim. Okay. So what that is basically definiteness of purpose. So what it is kind of how you alluded to it in regards to what is one's purpose, but also in that purpose, figure it out and you stick to it until it becomes
a consistent part of it.
Exactly. And it's that whatever it is, like right now we're in a barber shop. So if a barber's purpose is to be a barber, it's like being the best barber and learning and upgrading and becoming in that specific area, not venturing off into, I want to be a surfer. I want to be a skateboard. I want to this is my purpose and I'm locking in and I'm becoming to be the best barber.
Right.
And that's what it's about right there. So when you gave the example of somebody starts up the new year and it's this new year, new me thing. And like you said, the first few months, people are on their run, but then after that excitement runs off after, you know what I mean, just the joy of, okay, I'm starting a new thing. Now it's like the monotony kicks in.
Yep.
But now you have to keep locking in. You have to stay consistent. And that has to happen through a duration of not just months, but years. But it's because of purpose to where it's going to be like, okay, this is what I know I want to do. Anything that comes with it, this is just what it is.
For sure.
And it comes with it. But it's that right there that's, for one, makes people great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's that right there to where it's like, it doesn't matter if people are watching. It doesn't matter if people are watching. Mm-hmm. It's doing it because you know, like, nah, this is my purpose.
Yeah.
And I have to do this to become. So it's all a mindset, man.
No, it is. And I like the way you correlate it to, you know, obviously us being in a barbershop.
Yeah.
One thing that's really cool, and I'm sure you see it in your shop too, is, you know, when my barber's cutting me up, he has maybe one or two dudes that maybe they don't have an appointment for 15, 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. They'll come over and watch him.
For sure.
And they're just learning.
Absolutely.
And I think that skill and that blessing to be able to learn from something like that, and just the willingness to want to do something good.
Yeah.
Society nowadays says it's supposed to come quick. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to get everything in a very fast amount of time, you know, make it easier on us with AI and everything. But I think when you have someone that's genuinely wanting to learn, that takes you places. It may not be in a short span, but it's the long term that you consistently work on it. You go and learn from it. You could take a lunch break, right? 15 minutes. I'm going to take 15 minutes and go learn from someone else. Or you stay up 15 minutes later to read a book. So I think all of that stuff, like you said, bro, applies into what we're talking about in building a legacy. I think the mindset, though, is a lot of guys say they want to do it. They don't hack at it because the monotonous nature of things, I got to wake up, I got to do this. After week 3, it's like, well, this is boring now. Or I feel like I can handle one more thing added to my plate. When in reality of it, bro, is they haven't moved an inch in order to really make an impact in what they're doing. So they're just like, you know what, I'm going to take a break from this because I've done it well for 3 weeks. When we both know it takes years. It takes years to move the needle. Even with something like this, you know, we've been doing this consistently for a year. We'll say that. We'll say a year. We're barely sitting in a barbershop right now to where we can sit here and record and talk because of what it's gotten it to.
For sure.
Somebody can sit here and say, or my barber could sit here and say, nah, bro, you know what? Like, I haven't seen you post enough, or I haven't seen your episodes a lot, or you know, your content. So maybe when you do it in a year, like, come back and we'll talk. Could easily said that. But knowing that we have the conviction of like, nah, bro, we put out an episode a week. He knows exactly what I do. It makes you that much more comfortable to trust, like, oh, okay, I know a guy like that's going to be on his grind and do the things that he needs to do.
And you just said it right then and there, man. Like, also, it's crazy because it talks about this in the book, man. Like, when you're on purpose and you're working towards something, things just start to come your way. You know what I mean? Things just start to happen. But it's in motion of you actually putting forth the effort in regards to whatever your purpose is. It's like whatever somebody says their purpose is, things just start to happen. And if we were to look back on certain things that we did, if it was sports or other endeavors, when we look back and we're like, okay, we had our mind set to certain things and other things started to just attract to us or come our way. Why did that happen? It's because of the effort and the work towards that specific thing. When people, and also it's people too. So when people see that you're grinding and that you're working, people want to help in a sense when they're also on their purpose.
Because they believe the mission.
And they
can
see it.
Yeah,
and they see it. So it's like, if they see you grinding or you've been putting in work when nobody's been watching, and then an opportunity presents itself, somebody who is also in that position or has exceeded in that position is going to be like, let me help you out. Because they see it. But if somebody's like, hey, man, I want to come in here and shoot an episode, but you've never shot an episode of a podcast before, what would be the reason somebody would want to help you? Now, somebody could be like, okay, you could shoot like, okay, maybe.
Right,
you know what I mean? But it's like, if somebody's seen, again, the clips, the episodes,
or
the
even just
diligent
showing
work,
up and they have like certain things with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like showing up and having a certain process of like, okay, you're going to do this. You're going to have this over here. You can feel it, bro.
You can feel it.
And
but before that, though, no, you're right. But before that, it's still somebody has to see like, because again, if somebody is just doing something and they've never seen you do it, essentially it's kind of a handout.
Yeah, for sure.
But if they've seen you put in the work, if they've seen the diligence, if they've seen the repetition over and over and over, and then an opportunity is presented or a question is asked, it's like, man, I've been seeing you put in that work.
Yeah.
Come on, of course. But it's in nature of perseverance. It's in nature of constantly being consistent.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. People get caught up in, man, this is boring, or nothing is happening.
Nothing's happening. Yeah, no, that's a big one.
Nobody's cheering me on.
sure.
Or I'm doing all this work and nobody's seeing
There's no
it.
results. There's no virality in this. So, I'm not getting the attention that I feel like I should have based off of. And let's face it, if we're talking strictly about what we're doing, it's like talking about women in a negative manner, or talking about things that everyone has oversaturated up until this time.
For sure.
And I mean, it gets old, bro.
Does,
and I think you alluded to something where sometimes you can only say so much. The action is, again, back to people watching. Women interact better with action.
Absolutely.
If you say something, that's one thing, right? Like, if anyone says something, people are going to be like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to believe and hope that they do it. Yeah. But if you see action, an action-based dude moving in life, the women are going to come.
Of course, bro.
Like, they're going to be like, I've seen you working out. Or I've seen you at the gym 4 or 5 times a week. I've seen you posting clips. I've seen you cutting up hair. Like, that feeling does stuff to people, and that's what opens the doors, and it's abundant living, bro.
It is, bro.
It's back to the book 7 Spiritual Laws of good karma.
Absolutely.
There's karma everywhere, but if you're consistently doing something, you're doing it for the right reasons, it may not happen now, but tomorrow it could happen.
You just have to keep going.
You just got to keep going, bro.
And you can't and one can't get caught up in what the now looks like.
No.
And again, bro, all of this is spiritual. It's all spiritual, and it's a mind thing, and it's manifestation.
Yeah.
I heard it's an artist. His name is St. John, and he said when he was younger, he grew up in a certain environment, and he was like, he didn't know how he took this mindset on, but he said when he was young, he was like, there's no way that where I am right now is gonna be where I'm gonna be 10 years from now. And he was like, he's a brilliant brother, but he was saying, like, I don't know how I took on this mindset young, but he was like, there's no way that 10 years from now, I'm going to be right here. So there's no way that 3 years from now, we're going to be right here.
No, bro.
There's no way. With consistent work, with diligence, with reaching out to people, with networking, with definiteness of purpose. There's no way. It's impossible. It's impossible. And I think that's where people get caught up in is what's it look like right now?
Right.
Forget what it looks like right now. Where do you envision yourself being next year or the year after that? That's how you have to look.
If you do something once a week or 3 times a week from here until, working out, you work out 3 times a week for a year, you're not going to look, you can't look the same, bro.
Especially if you're eating right too, there's no way.
Let's say even if you're not eating right.
No, for sure.
You may not look like a complete, but you're not going to look the same. You're going to have some muscle that you didn't have before. And I think to your point,
you're right.
Regardless if it's, going the full way of eating healthy and, you go down that road, but to just your principle of doing something consistently from the time now till you look 10 years from now, you can't be in the same spot.
There's no way.
We can't be in the same spot if we keep doing this once a week.
Look at where we started. Look where we are now. Just within a year. You know what I mean?
It's a testimony
the board
for
was sitting on your lap.
Right.
Now we're in a different location. You know what I mean? So it's part of it, but like one just has to keep going. And it seems cliche. It seems very monotonous. It seems very like cavalier in the sense of keep going.
Seem like he deserved to have that. Like he deserves to have that stuff. I don't deserve to have that. It's a victim mentality, bro.
It is, and it's a lack of accountability.
Yeah,
and it's woe is me. And it's like no. If you see somebody that's achieved, why would you not think like I could have that too? With work,
right?
With diligence, with perseverance. Why would one not think like, nah, I want to have that too. I deserve to have that too.
Right.
I can have that too. But nobody sees the behind the scenes work.
For sure.
Which they're not supposed to. When you were practicing baseball in high school, was it ever recorded?
We don't have no phones back then, bro.
You know what I mean? But people weren't supposed to see you grinding. That's the only thing about now today. People show certain things, and it's not a conversation of whether it's good or bad.
Right.
But it's more so a conversation of certain things people aren't supposed to see, man. When you're grinding, the behind the scenes work. I get there's BTS now, and behind the scenes.
But there's a time and place for everything.
Exactly. But when you're grinding, when you're really getting it in, when you're working on your game, when you're working on your pitching, when you're working on your batting, when you're working on your outfield game or your ground ball, who's supposed to be there to watch? It's not for anybody to be there to watch. But when they come to the game and they see you and they're like, oh, his game is crispy. How he just threw from the outfield to the infield, that pass was crazy. Where did that come from? what nobody saw, but they weren't supposed to see it. But now when they see you playing in a game, they come up and they're like, man, I want to be a baseball player. And that's cool, but are you willing to put in this work? Are you willing to wake up at 4:30 in the morning? Are you ready to have two-a-days? Are you ready to watch film? Are you ready to hear a coach tell you what you need to get better? Are you willing to do all of these things? These aren't the things that people see. But when they see you in the game and they see the outfit and they see, you know what I mean, the uniform, and they see that it's Chris, they get excited. And it's love because it's inspiration. But you're only getting inspired based off this finished product right now. Wake up with me at 4:30 in the morning, 3 days out the week, and see if you want to keep doing this.
Dang, bro. Yeah. No, you spoke on a lot of great points right there, bro. Like, the one that I want to go back to before we get into, I have two things that I want to say to what you just said right now, but I want to go back a little bit. The penthouse effect. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I feel like I know where you're going with it.
Yeah, so it's a psychological analogy. I wouldn't say it's a term, but I heard it the other day. I think it was on TikTok or something, but it talks about how there are people that it's called the penthouse effect for one, and it's pretty self-explanatory, but what it is, if you're a person, right, and you have a dire want to move up into the penthouse suite, or we all look at Tempe and they have those penthouse apartment complexes, you see them on videos, it's like, oh, that looks amazing. I would kill to live up there, or that must be an amazing view. Well, the people that go on tours for an apartment and they go look at them, they put themselves in that situation. They're allowed to look up at there and be like, wow, I get to really experience this. Like, I can envision where my bed would go. I can envision inviting people over. I can envision enjoying a night inside and just watching a good movie and seeing the views and the sunset come down. Once you hit that mark, you go back to your home. You've already experienced what that looks like. So now you can move with intention and relatability to say, I've been there. I know that I can touch it. If I can touch it, I can do it.
It's possible.
And that's how we work. Most people don't ever put themselves in those situations to where, they dream about having, we'll say, money. They dream about having the home, the family, that they don't put themselves in situations to be around the successful people or to be around settings where these, people are moving in a right way. So they automatically take themselves out of the game. But this effect is saying, if you put yourself in it, if you go and touch it, you will become.
Absolutely.
With consistent action, with believing, with faith. But you got to put yourself in the situation. And again, to build a legacy, you got to put yourself in a situation to where you can be here, or you can be featured in 3 different magazines, or you could be putting together really good music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing all these things, but you're only here because you knew that there was better for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you came across people that allowed you to be like, man, California is nice, man, but I'm gonna live somewhere like this.
Absolutely.
And that's really what it is.
Absolutely. It's a real belief. And I think, bro, we all have the ability to manifest. It's not something that somebody can do and that one other person can't do. It's just, for example, man, like, even right now, man, I'll be in my car and I'll be like, man, okay, I'm driving what I'm driving, but I'm envisioning like, no, I'm driving the car that I want to be driving right now.
Yeah.
But it's in the mind. When I pull up to my spot, I'm pulling up to my spot, but I'm envisioning, okay, no, next time I move somewhere, this is where I'm pulling up to. But it's in the mind. Like, everything starts in the mind. We like dressing. We like fashion. Bro, there are times to where it's like, okay, cool. Yes, we dress a certain way, but I know where I want to take it.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it like, no, I'm dressing how I want to be. Like, if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be a certain, you have to dress that way now. Yeah. You have to carry yourself like that now. It's not that you're going to get it and then you become. No, you become and then it comes. You become what you want and then it comes. But it's all a mindset. Yeah. So, bro, all of this right now is going to intensify, but it's the thought that happens up here first. Right. So where it's like the next space or the next place that we have a podcast or the next environment is going to keep growing because it's in the mind right now. So everybody has to realize it's all in the mind. Everything is in the mind, man.
Again, it goes back to, and I appreciate you for sharing that, bro, like real life examples, because I see it in you. Like when you're driving down Scottsdale and you're seeing these nice cars, you are in a situation, you are in a lifestyle that most people can never say and will always never be able to say that they can live in. To sit here and say that you live in Scottsdale, bro, Scottsdale's one of the most rich cities in the U.S.
For sure.
And to be in that, you can only go up. every year that you're there, you can only elevate your lifestyle, elevate your clothing, elevate your living situation, your car, whatever. You're traveling, like
Absolutely.
you only elevate that kind of stuff when you put yourself in those situations. You know, there's other outside factors like taking care of money, making the right choices. But just putting yourself in the situation to start off with will build the legacy.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
to, again, continue where we're at, it's the quitting part, bro. Too many guys nowadays hit a road to where it's monotonous or something didn't pan out the way they thought it should, and they're like, I'm done. Or, I mean, even more relevant for what we're in this day and age is guys get embarrassed by, let's say, making content or starting a podcast or, you know, wanting to do a business, and they post on social media, and that one person is like, bro, you're corny for that.
Yeah.
And they completely shut down and like, you know what? Yeah, it is kind of corny. I'm not going to do that anymore. Like that's fake.
Or they get a few views, and they feel like, nah, I'm gonna stop that. And it's like, nah, because the reality is, bro, again, if we put this out and it only gets 4 views, that's still 4 people that saw it. Like, and it's the momentum that carries it. The reality is, you don't want to skyrocket from the beginning. No. That's not how you want it. That's not how anybody wants it, because how can you appreciate it if you didn't go through some type of struggle, if you didn't grind, if you didn't figure it out? If you start something and you immediately blow up, the reality is, most likely, you're not going to be able to sustain it, and then the crash down is going to happen even faster. You want to go through the stair process. You want to have some type of grind. You want to be in a space to where you like, man, I don't know about this anymore, but you keep going. You want to get in a space to where you're like, man, and then somebody walks up on you. Hey, I know you from TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have those moments. It's all part of the process, and it can't be skipped. Not if somebody wants something great. It's just part of it. It's part of the process.
I want to ask you this last question, bro, but before we head out, with all of that being said, everything that we've talked about, do you think women fall for productivity, a lot of it, or consistency?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I would say consistency, and this is the reason why I say this. And I think this isn't even a gender thing. I think men and women can see this. You can see when somebody's being, quote, productive, but it's not really productive.
Got it, okay.
You can see when somebody's just being a busybody.
Got it.
Or when somebody's just doing a lot. And we know and have seen certain situations to where people are doing stuff and it's like, you're doing a lot.
For sure.
You're just doing a lot of a lot. And it's not necessarily productive. It's just you're doing a lot. But then you see somebody and it's like, you're being consistent. And you're being strategic with how you move. That can be seen, because the byproduct of that can be seen when it's consistent. We're filled in a space of, in a world of people just doing a lot of stuff. A lot of chaos. And again, some people might conflate that for productivity, but it's not. Especially when you're locked in, you're really dialed in. Like, I really, like, Kobe's my favorite player, and I'll just end with this. I've been studying him from a more mature level now. He was so locked in and dialed in to the nuances of the game. It exceeded so many more people just by how he was locked in and consistent to just specific footwork, how he wanted to turn, how he wanted to pump fake, doing certain workouts just with his left hand, being a mastermind of the game. It wasn't just being a whole bunch of production, which is a whole bunch of stuff. It was being consistent in the productivity. So again, I would just say it's about consistency, because people can usually see like, yeah, you're doing a lot right now, but it's just a lot. And you can also see when somebody's dialed in and focused, and it's like, yeah, you're being consistent. You're being consistent. So I would say consistency.
Yeah, bro, I think I would agree with you on that question with would women be more attracted to productivity or a lot of productivity or consistency? I think in general, bro, people want stableness, or, you know, want a foundation of being able to feel comfortable with their life and the type of living that they make. And, you know, as men, we have to understand that at some point when we have families, you know, we have a wife, we want to be the provider, right? Providers can't be strong if they're not consistent. You can't be a consistent provider. You're not going to do much in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, for yourself as well. We won't even stay here and include women just yet. We'll just say, if you can't provide for yourself, you're not gonna get very far in life. Like, you're gonna have your months where you do well, and you're gonna have your other months where you do completely bad. And if you stay within like a very like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a predictable, consistent level of like a wavelength. You're able to move in life in a way that it's not high and low. It's not hot and cold. And I think a lot of dudes nowadays, bro, they move off of emotion. When they're good, when life is good, when they have bread, they're going to start a business. They're going to be working out. They're going to eat well. When they're not doing good, when their bread's not well, who knows what you do, bro? Like, we've all had moments like that. And I'm not sitting here talking like I'm above anything.
For sure.
What I'm saying is I've been in those moments. I've had times where I'm like this.
No doubt.
You know, and I think the biggest thing that I want these guys to understand is that you're going to have moments of being low.
It's life.
You got to keep going.
It's life.
You got to go to the gym. Got to wash your butt.
Yeah, no, facts.
Like,
it seems like it's simple, but it's real stuff, though.
Bro, I'm
real.
telling you off of this
facts.
of like understanding what it looks like,
It's
bro.
facts.
When us men go through it.
Yeah.
Like anybody,
Yeah.
you go through it. Your days where you're like, I don't want to shower today.
And who's going to be there? Usually it's nobody.
That's
So you
exactly
have
the
to do
point.
it yourself.
Especially if you're living on your own, bro.
For sure.
It is so
Facts.
easy to like,
Facts.
oh man, well, ain't nobody holding me accountable to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym or go to work. Or I could spend this money right now on this, but you know what? I'm going to go out and get some drinks and go hang out with people that I think are my friends just to feel something. Nah, bro. We got to build a legacy here. We got to be consistent. And it's a word that doesn't hold enough value in it nowadays, bro. And my dad is the one who really raised me to understand what that word meant, and he drove it in us.
Yeah.
Anytime that I wasn't showing up to work out or get my cuts in to at the fields, he'd be like, dude, you're not going to produce, you're not going to play here because you're not being consistent. And that's a hard thing to understand at the age of 12. But now at 29, bro, I've been hearing it so long in my life. I am simply here today because I had a man in my life who was consistent with me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
for some people, they don't have that. And it's okay, but like we talk about, the accountability has to come back on us. To build a legacy, it's not on your pops, it's not on your grandpa, it's not on your uncle. It's on you.
It's on you.
You either
That's
build
facts.
it or you carry it on and make it better. That's the only ways to go, bro. Or you're a bum.
That's just it. And nobody's going to be there, man, because nobody can do it for you. That's the real reality. And it's a real realization. I think any male that becomes a man has a realization of, damn, nobody is going to come do it for you. Nobody's going to figure out your purpose for you. Nobody's going to tell you to be consistent. Nobody's going to see how great you want to be. Nobody's going to believe in you the way you want to believe in yourself. Nobody is going to do it for you. Now, again, if you come from a good family, the support will be there. You know what I mean? There might be a level of access that you might have or a level of certain things that other people might not have. But even then, nobody can do it for you. That's the thing. Nobody is going to save you. We're not women. That's just the reality. Nobody can come save us. Nobody is going to come save us. So one has to have a mindset of, what do you want to do? And then within that, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Now, I understand sometimes pivots have to be made and assessments have to happen and things like that. That's understandable.
Yeah.
But even in that, whatever one does, go for it. You only have one life. Who cares what people say? Who cares what people think? Because the people that are looking are usually the people that aren't going after what they're going for.
And they see something real in you to where it's like, nah, I'm insecure about this, so I'm going to sit here and say like, oh, bro, you only got 6 likes. That's crazy.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's about going for it. And the real reality is, man, if we're just talking about what something happened, what looks like from an external standpoint.
Right.
If something gets 1 like, if you know what you did was fly, if you know what you did was nice, if you know what you had to do to get where you needed to go to even put that out, it should resonate within you to be like, man, I don't care what anybody thinks. I know what I did.
Yeah.
I know what I overcame. I know what I put out. I know what I'm working towards. I know what I'm going to become. One has to already know that within. You have to feel like you're a superstar right now.
Yeah.
That's just, and again, in a humble way. One has to be like,
for sure.
I'm him right now. It's not like you become him and then you're him. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's in you. Now, how you are within that, that's another spectrum. But you have to feel within like, no, I know I'm great right now. I'm working towards what I'm working towards, but the attributes that I have, the desire that I have, the characteristics, how I'm dressed, how I'm gonna have my hair cut, how I'm gonna smell, that's all right now. You don't get it and then you acquire all of that. You acquire all of that, then everything else attracts to you. That's how it goes. That's just part of it. So one has to operate in that mindset now. So for anybody that's going through anything, that's trying to obtain something, working towards something, forget what anybody else is thinking. It doesn't matter how many likes you get. It doesn't matter how many followers you get. If you know you're working towards something, it's literally almost impossible if you keep going and you're working diligent.
For sure.
It's just, that's what it is.
Yeah, man.
So,
it's understanding time and place for everything.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like I said, bro, I think we've had a very good conversation when we're talking about the elements of building a legacy and what that looks like.
Yeah.
Specific examples even. And I, again, appreciate you for being able to be vulnerable and share that type of...
absolutely, bro.
Just type of information with us. Because I know, for me, and us guys, sometimes we got to hear about those tough times or like those areas that we... weren't the best in. I think more often than not, we see always the good side of things, and that's not how it is being a dude, bro.
No,
there's a lot of dark stuff that goes on in our heads and our lives, and if nobody talks about it, we're all at fault.
No,
we all can't be a community and grow in something if you're not talking about the things that you're struggling with.
Yeah, we have to. But I want to say this before we get out of here, bro. I'm proud of you, man. We're in a different location, man. As anybody that's been following the journey, and it's a blessing for me to be on this journey, you know what I mean, with you, bro. Like, this isn't a small feat. You know what I mean? We're constantly evolving, going to different spaces, and the podcast is going to keep getting bigger, and the brand of Blessed, Humble, Determined, like, it's going to be like, man, it's going to continue to grow and become great, and like, it's going to be seen visually through content how big it's going to get, man. So I'm excited, and I'm proud of you, bro. Like, genuinely, I'm proud of you, man, for real.
Man.
For real.
Well, guys, I appreciate everything and the consistent growing that we've been doing as a channel. And I know it's nothing crazy right now, but like Julian said, we're getting there, man. So, my guy, I appreciate it.
Bro.
We'll have you one more
Love,
time.
bro. Absolutely.
And make sure you guys catch in every week, bro. We're doing our best to drop an episode.
And shout out to the barbershop.
Shout out to CR and Trendsetters, man. It's been amazing here.
For sure. It's a blessing.